Okay, part 3. Now that I've said why I don't adhere to these 3 main groups of religions, because the psychology inherent in them is tyrannical, basically. The psychology has been cleverly placed in each one of these to get the adherent to think that tyranny is okay. And it's happened in different ways. But this just shows how clever these men in control are, that they are so observant that they can sneak these ideas into what otherwise would be very sound philosophies. So anyway, that shows the danger. And why do I want to highlight, these 3 examples and the dangers of it? It's to spur people's thinking. I don't fault anyone for following a certain religious path or spiritual path, but we have got to be conscious about what we are adhering to. We cannot become overzealous about it. It's a private matter. If you believe something, that's fine. But we have to agree that we cannot force a belief system on somebody else. That's just plain wrong. That's why it was important for the framers of the Constitution to include that in the First Amendment. Freedom of religion is important. Now, like I said, it's kind of a joke because religion actually means bondage, but the freedom to practice your personal beliefs, your personal faith, is important, because that is it's a part of you. It's a part of your real estate, so to speak, your personal space, and anyone that tries to infringe on that is in violation of the First Amendment. So that's why I kind of poked at all 3 of these major religious groups to kind of show that each one of them has an inroad to breaching that sacred ground, of being able to practice your own belief system. So what do we do? Here's what I believe. I believe that everyone should be respected. There's a lot of people around the prepping community, the patriot community, and other groups, and there's even some extreme cases where people that believe they're prepping or patriots are actually Nazis or Muslims or whatnot. And that has to go. The reason why is because we are all targets of the globalists. We are all targets. Once we realize that, it becomes stupid and silly to go at each other for whatever reason. And the stupidest reason is religion. Because the minute that you step over that threshold and violate someone's religious preference and try to force them into another way of life, or say that if they don't adhere to your personal doctrines that you've been taught, that they deserve to die, you're completely negating that First Amendment. You need to think about that. And if there is an event, if it comes to the point where we will have to defend ourselves against tyranny, whether it comes in the form of a government or it comes in the form of outside help to that government losing its grip, we're going to have to put all this sectarian differences aside permanently. Not temporarily, not with the understanding that we're fighting a common enemy and we can pick it back up later. We have to put it aside completely. We have to respect people's choice of faith. There can't be any reprisals, and I'm going to tell you why. In Iraq, there was a group called Jaish al-Mahdi, and Jaish al-Mahdi was the Mahdi army, and this was a religious militant movement basically, they believed that they were helping the Mahdi, who was helping Jesus when he returns. Believe it or not, Muslims believe that Jesus will come back. So they believed that they were doing this, and this was their first mistake to bring religion and sectarianism into it, because what it spurred was a lot of sectarian violence. There were cleansings. People would go around in death squads and kill Sunnis. And this is dangerous, because what it does is it erodes the credibility of a resistance force. And that's exactly what happened. They became bad guys. They became feared, not loved. And so we have to avoid that at all costs. And that includes any kind, and I mean any kind, of hatred or animosity towards somebody else because of their particular religious beliefs. It has to be nipped in the bud. Don't do it. That's sacred ground. That person can practice their own belief system however they want to. That's their private practice. Now, the minute it becomes public and they want to impose it on other people, then that's a problem too, because that also violates the First Amendment. So, take it for what it is. I'm not defending anyone and saying that their faith is 100% right. I've already demonstrated that. I have also demonstrated that the evil powers in the world have infiltrated each and every one of them and used them as tools of control. And I've also demonstrated that regardless of whether those tools of control are in place or not, that there are certain elements of the philosophy that are great, that do help out people better deal with other people. But the fact of the matter is, those are all private. They're private. They can't be stepped on. And so, you got to leave it alone. You have to leave it alone. You cannot include that in your reasons for defending the Republic or prepping or anything else. You cannot judge someone based on the merits of their faith. You have to judge people for what they do. And if they are doing right and acting right and being benevolent and giving of themselves to support you or to shelter you or to aid you, how can you, how dare you go against them because of something as private as their belief system? How dare you? You're making enemies where you don't need them. We already have enough enemies. We already have enough agencies targeting us. Just ordinary people. We're all in the same boat. The minute we realize that is the minute we have won. The minute that you acknowledge that you are a target, and you come to that realization, and it doesn't matter anymore, is the minute you've won. Because you put that fear aside, and you extend your goodwill to your fellow man. And that is the key to beating evil. Period. You cannot do it any other way. It has to be beat through goodwill towards your fellow man and recognizing that we're all in this together. Because the minute we're not is the minute they find a weakness. It's the minute they can turn control on us. That's it for this part of the video. Hope you watched it all. If you did, and you think it was sound philosophy, share it. All right, bye for now.